What happens when family turns into foes?
Or have you imagined being trapped in a living nightmare with no escape from the person who's supposed to love and care for you? That's the dire situation an abused aunt found herself in, facing unimaginable cruelty at the hands of a family member who's supposed to protect her. The aunt, who had once been a loving and caring person, was reduced to a shell of her former self. She was constantly belittled, berated, and even physically abused. The emotional toll was devastating, leaving her feeling isolated, alone, and worthless. Despite her cries for help, other family members turned a blind eye, either too afraid or too complicit to intervene. Join me as I dive into a real-life story where I try to uncover how police saved an abused aunt from a cruel family member. Join us on a journey into the complexities of human behavior as we delve into the most shocking and disturbing true crime cases. From infamous serial killers to baffling unsolved murders, we'll explore the criminal underworld and examine the motivations and psychological factors behind the crimes. Buckle up for a thought-provoking ride that will leave you questioning the very fabric of our society. Please subscribe to our channel to enjoy more interesting life stories. On December 25, 2023, in a quiet Florida neighborhood, what should have been a day of celebration and togetherness turned into a heartbreaking scene of conflict and despair. A family, bound by blood but fractured by years of tension, found themselves in a physical altercation that left both sides bruised not just physically, but emotionally. Officers arrived to find a niece and her aunt, two women who once shared a home and a history, now standing on opposite sides of a chasm that seemed impossible to bridge. The niece, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and sorrow, recounted the events that led to the fight. "We came at each other, okay? No serious injuries. But yes, we fought. She pushed me into the wall. I was just walking by, checking my camera, and then boom, it happened. We were on the ground, pulling at each other, pushing, yelling. It was chaos, pure chaos." Her words were heavy with regret, but also defiance, as if she were trying to justify her actions to herself as much as to the officers. The aunt, equally distraught, stood nearby. Her arms crossed tightly over her chest. She spoke of trespassing and boundaries crossed, her voice cracking under the weight of frustration. "I came home to check on my camera, and we fought. She's my niece, my family, but living together has been unbearable. She touches my things, disrespects my space. I'm sick of it, just sick of it." The tension between them had been simmering for months. A pot boiling over on a day meant for peace. They had shared a home for less than a year, a living arrangement born out of necessity, but strained by past struggles and personal conflicts. The niece explained, her voice tinged with exhaustion. "She stays in the shed because of her habits. We've all lived together, but it's been hard. Not even a year. And it's fallen apart. I just wanted to check on my camera, make sure it was okay, and then it all went wrong." As the officers pieced together the story, the emotional weight of the situation became impossible to ignore. The aunt, her face etched with lines of frustration and fatigue, revealed her side of the story. "I paid $400 for the light bill, $200 for this, $200 for that. I just wanted to take a bath and eat in peace. But she keeps harassing me, touching my things. I'm sick of it. Just sick of it." Her words were a plea for understanding, for someone to see her side of the story. The niece, however, felt equally provoked and unheard. "I didn't start this," she insisted, her voice rising with emotion. "She put her hands on me first. I have the right to defend myself. I have the right to..." protect myself. Her words were a mix of anger and desperation, as if she were trying to convince herself as much as the officers. The officers, caught in the middle of this family drama, had to navigate the complexities of a domestic dispute. One officer explained the legal implications with a tone of empathy, recognizing the pain on both sides. When it's domestic, it's different. If one person turns a verbal argument into a physical one, they're considered the primary aggressor. It's not about who's right or wrong, it's about the law. And in this case, the law says we have to take action. In this case, the niece was deemed the primary aggressor, leading to her arrest for simple battery. The emotional toll was evident as she processed what had happened. "This is so crazy," she muttered, her voice breaking. "I just got my CNA license. I can't believe I'm going to jail over this, over her." Her words were a mix of disbelief and regret, as if the reality of the situation was only just sinking in. The aunt, though relieved the confrontation was over, was left to pick up the pieces of a fractured relationship. "I just want peace," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I'm tired of the harassment, the fighting. I want to move on. I want to live my life without this constant stress." Her words were a plea for normalcy, for a chance to start over. As the officers wrapped up their report, the gravity of the situation lingered in the air. A family, once united by blood, now divided by conflict, faced the harsh reality of their choices. The niece was taken into custody, her future uncertain, while the aunt was left to rebuild her life, one step at a time. This Christmas Day incident serves as a poignant reminder of how quickly emotions can spiral out of control, especially within families. It's a story of pain, regret, and the hope for healing, a tale that resonates with anyone who has experienced the complexities of family dynamics. It's a reminder that beneath the surface of every conflict lies a web of emotions, histories, and struggles that are often invisible to the outside world. Reflection. The human cost of conflict. What makes this story so heartbreaking is not just the physical altercation, but the emotional devastation it leaves in its wake. Here are two women bound by family ties, yet torn apart by years of unresolved tension and unmet needs. The niece, desperate to protect her space and her sanity, and the aunt, yearning for respect and peace, find themselves trapped in a cycle of conflict that seems impossible to break. The officers, too, are caught in the middle, tasked with enforcing the law while recognizing the human cost of their actions. They see the pain in the niece's eyes as she's led away, the exhaustion in the aunt's voice as she pleads for understanding. They know that their intervention is necessary, but they also know that it's only a temporary solution to a much deeper problem. This story is a call for empathy, for understanding, and for healing. It's a reminder that behind every conflict, there are real people with real pain, and that sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we fight within our own families. Your thoughts? What do you think about this heartbreaking situation? Do you see moments where understanding could have changed the outcome? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that touch the heart and provoke reflection. Let's continue the conversation and work toward a world where families can find peace, even in the midst of conflict. Thanks for watching. And if you want to watch other videos about resilience and bravery, subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts on this story in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going.